heard me. Because we were given free will.
Okay, and then please give the mic to Corbett.
I have a question to follow that up. But didn't Christ preach in Hades after the crucifixion?
So this is can be a very hot debated topic, okay? I want to ask a question, okay? When you read the Bible, or when your Sunday school teacher gave you the lesson about Joseph, here's a pop question. Were the 10 Commandments given before or after Joseph lived? Please do not AI Google this thing with Chat GPT, blah, 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 blah. Right. I'll ask you even a more challenging question. How does Cain know that he did something wrong? Hey, my brother had a better offering. He offered it to God. It was acceptable. Mine was a duff one. God didn't accept it. I'm going to chop him. We're done. Fine. Okay. He got rid of his brother. Great. Why? What is aching in Cain's heart? Yes.
That would imply that morality is like it's natural, and morality is natural anyway.
The natural law.
But if that's the case, why the
Yes.
10 Commandments?
Does Hinduism, does Buddhism, please hear me, this is very important. Does Buddhism say it's okay to have an extramarital relationship with your neighbor's wife? Does Buddhism, does Hinduism allow someone to have a relationship with my neighbor's wife? Why not?
It'll hurt someone.
The natural law. All of those who have lived before Christ, who have not heard the message of Christ, meaning the Gentiles, will be judged according to natural law. Right? Joseph did not have a Bible. Joseph did not have 10 Commandments to live by. But I assure you, the Hindu and the Buddhist who steals something aches on his or her heart. What is that? I'll go back to the spiritual part of human beings. And I don't need, now, to answer, I think, is it Kevin? Kevin? To answer your question, Kevin, I don't need a religion. I do not need a religion to decide for me that God exists and what is His law. Because God imprinted part of Him in you and I. Yes.
If that's the case, if God's already given me His imprint, why does He? Why do I need His prayer? Why do I need people to pray for me? Why do I need His preachings? And why do I need people to teach me?
What do you make of the story of Noah? I'll come to you. I know your hands are up. What do you make of the story of Noah? So to Bola's point, why all the fuss? People went bad. I created you. You guys went bad. I'm just going to bring the whole flood. I'm going to kill everybody. We're done. Bye-bye.
He looked for people that were good, right?
Huh?
God was like, I'll keep the town if there was 50 people or
Right.
there was like 5 people.
And before he comes to give the commandments to Moses, a bunch of generations ahead, there's a man by the name of Abraham. And he goes to Abraham and says, Abraham, look, I'm going to this city, okay? I want your opinion on something. I'm going to decide, but I want your opinion on something. If I find 100 good people, or 50 good people, or 25, what should I do? Abraham, what should I do? Yes. Hang on to your question. I need to get to her. I'm going to come to you, I promise. This is a very good conversation. I'm glad you're asking questions. But I want to get to the point where What is God trying to do with Abraham? Why would God ask Abraham's opinion? Does he need his opinion? How about if we look at the Old Testament through a different lens and say, God is trying to reveal himself to Abraham and to show him what kind of a heart he has. It is out of love that God says, I will regenerate humanity. And he made a promise to Noah. And when God makes a promise, rest assured, 1,000% you can take it to the bank, he will stick by it. And he told Noah, because of your faith, I will not do this again. How does God now deal with corrupt humans? He made a promise to Noah. It's called the Noahic promise. There are covenants. There is the Adamic covenant, there's a Noahic covenant, there's the Abrahamic covenant, there's a Mosaic covenant, there's the Davidic covenant, and we're going to come to the new commandment, the new covenant that he gives us. We can discuss that at some point. But he made a covenant to Noah. He said, I will not do this again. So he says, I have to save my people. And he chooses a group of people and he says, you will be my people and I will be your God. And I am the one God. For the first time, humanity hears of the one God. Our ancestors, the Egyptians, looked around and they said, what an amazing creation. They are fascinated with the beauty of the human mind. Yet they look at a lion and say, what an amazing power. So they go build the Sphinx. They take the lion and they put the head of the human on top of the lion. They look at the sun and say, wow, what an amazing creation. Let's worship the sun. Look at the beauty of the cats. And you can see it still till today. You go to the pharaonic museums and you're going to see the beautiful cats. Man doesn't need anything or anybody to show them that God exists and that God is a loving God, a creative, loving God, merciful God, wants to give me a chance. But the beauty of you and I, we're not the rest of the creation. We are made in his image. And when we're made, he gave us free will. He gave us conscience. It is that conscience that awakened in Cain and he said, what I have done is wrong. And he says, am I my brother's keeper? That he repeats the same thing that his father, the same mistake that his father made, playing the blame game. And I dare say, if you allow me, forgive me, fathers, I have to say it, we also play the same blame game today. So I am no better than Adam, and I'm no better than Cain. I play the blame game. Right? You don't have to answer. Ask yourself the question, are you playing the blame game? Please don't answer. I'm asking you to ask yourself, are you playing the blame game? Or are you taking responsibility for your actions? I know it's 7:10. I'm going to fast forward and ask some questions if you allow me. What makes a being God? Effectively, what makes a God God?
It's a being that doesn't exist physically, but like it only exists spiritually. Because like a being is something that exists, but God only exists spiritually.
Abuna said something beautiful. He said, God, what? The Pantocrator. What does Pantocrator mean? Panto, what does Pantocrator mean? You want to say? Okay. All-powerful, almighty. He is all things. And the disciples tried to describe him to us, and they found some really, really hard for him to describe him. So we say in the Gregorian liturgy, immeasurable, right? Omnipresent, omnipotent, all these things, because we don't know how to describe him. He is indescribable. But we can see his action. We can see the work of God. Right? I know that you had a question or a point, please. You sure? How about you?
So what if there was a Muslim and like they didn't know about Christ but they still did like good in their life? Would they like go to like heaven?
I'm sure that these questions will continue to pop, and my answer to you is this. What is it to you and I? Why do you care? Why do you have to know? Not necessarily decide, but why do you or I have to know whether the Muslim who lived a good life is going to enter heaven or not? If I believe that Christ is the true God and he gave me a commandment, and he said, unless you eat the body of the Son of Man and the Son of God, and you eat, then you drink the blood of the Son of God, you shall have life in you. That's what I care about. It is up to God, the judge. The minute I try to figure out or make a judgment call on the Muslim who's going to go in or not, the Hinduist is going to go in or not, the Buddhist, it's not my place. Can you give me an example? Have you ever thought about where do we learn about this? Christ gives a parable. And he says, look, a man had a farm, right? And he decided that he was going to, you go in, you want to work? Go ahead, work. I'll give you 1 dinar. 1 day's work. Somebody shows up late, 9 a.m., go in. Somebody shows up at lunchtime, go in. Somebody knows it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're closing shop. The farm is about to close. You want to work? Yeah, go in. And then he comes in to hand out the rewards, the wages for the day. And somebody looks and says, well, hang on a minute. This is unfair. This is truly unfair. I busted my chops from 7 to 5. And I'm going to get the same denarii as the person who just worked 1 hour? This is completely unfair. It is not up to you and I to decide, nor should we occupy ourselves, because you and I are not the judges. He's the one who's going to judge. And we will hear tomorrow that God the Father gave all judgment to the Son. Why is that important? We'll think about it. Okay? I'm going to wrap up. I know that we're running way too late, but it is a good topic. Question. Does man seek God? A God? Why or why not?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking.
Okay. Does man seek God? Huh?
Yes, because like without a God, there would really just be no like true point of life, and like we would all just be here for no reason. But with a God, once you have one, like it gives your life a purpose and gives your life a reason.
Thank you.
I think it differs from person to person. I feel like some people can choose to seek God if they, realize that there's a lot of things that are created and there's no really scientific way of proving how to create it. But then there's other people that can choose or can believe in the same thing, but choose to, or out of rejection of God, can choose not to seek Him and just try to live life as they define it, basically.
Notice I'm not giving you answers, right? I'm not answering these questions. I'm asking you to answer the questions, okay? Hopefully through part 2 and 3, we will answer these questions together. 2 more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Is it possible or conceivable for multiple gods to exist? hopefully, through the conversation that we had today, we should come to a conclusion. Again, you're more than free to have your point of view, your belief, but I think you would agree with me that if we agree that there is a creator, there cannot be multiple creators. This is to Kevin's question. I don't know if Kevin is still with us, but this is to Kevin's question. Does the existence of God depend on religion? Any religion? Yes?
So I think that religion depends on the existence of God, not God depending on the existence of religion.
So, thank you. So why am I asking the question? Is it just a rhetorical question? Is Ted joking with us? Why am I asking the question? Is it up to religion to choose to say, that's the God? Tomorrow, God willing, we will see how the true God, the one God, reveals himself. He's not waiting for you and I to work so hard to see him, to find him, to seek him. If we believe in a creator and we see the Son of Man, the Son of God, who spat on the earth and made Adam spit on the earth and give brand new eyes to a blind man, that must be the true God. That must be the true creator. Are you following what I'm trying to say? This is not about you and I to debate. God is defending himself. God is showing himself. God is revealing himself. And now the question for you and I to ask is, well, who are you, God? And then he's going to reveal himself as being a triune God. Let's open up for questions.
I just wanted to go back and rephrase. Sorry. I just wanted to go back and rephrase what I said about does man seek God? I think it's the nature of man that pushes him to seek God. They can reject that nature or can accept it or give into it. Also, the existence of false gods does depend on religion, I think. Like money can become a god for some people. False idols can become a god, but it doesn't mean that's like the true God in capital G.
Is there a verse that says or at least means I planted eternity in their hearts? So I think, because when you talk about men seeking God, it made me think about it because God himself said, I planted eternity in your heart. So it's like you're longing for eternity. So it's something God put in your heart.
And it is actually, I took the slides away, but it is actually, all of the Abrahamic religions and Hinduism believe in wanting to have eternity. There is a desire in you and I to live eternally. Why is it not acceptable to human beings to just live and die? Did you ever ask yourself that question? Is it possible that the imprint of God is forcing you and I to say, this can't be it? This is not it. So what is it? To your point, why doesn't he then just either save all of the creation or destroy all of the creation one day? We're done. Yeah? Any other questions? So I want to thank you for your patience and your listening and your engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Okay, if you have a question, if you can think of a question or if you remember a question, please write it down on your phone so we can have it ready for tomorrow, because I'm sure these kind of discussion will spark some thoughts and questions and ideas, and I want you to share, because this is what's going to make this discussion rich. We will be playing games on grounds for 1 hour, and we will leave here around 8:20 to Chick-fil-A, and then come back, and everybody will be leaving here, church, by 9:30 maximum. Not 9:40, not 9:45. Tell your parents to plan to be here 9:20. So if they are late 10 minutes, you're leaving by 9:30. Okay? So we'll go play some games. We have basketball. We have the background, the soccer. We have here football in a big parking lot. And then we can have volleyball on the swing. I figure out a way where we can put the swing on the side and use that bar to play volleyball. So we have different, and we have mini soccer on the grass. Yes. And we have volleyball across the street. Please clean up after yourself. I see plates on the tables. Clean up after yourself. Clean up your mess. The cups, the plastic that you've been chewing on.